I am Vendrila Monique and today I am going to discuss with you one of the most important parts from plant physiology, that is photoperiodism. Photoperiodism and vernalization are two of the most important mechanisms which underlie seasonal response. Photoperiodism is the effect of the length of the day and dark hours on the growth and development of plants. That means the growth and development of plants depend on the exposure to the duration of light. Vernalization is the promotion of flowering subsequently at higher temperature and by exposure towards cold. Garther and Alfred first studied this phenomenon in 1920 in Maryland mammoth plant. Plants can be classified into various categories depending on the photoperiodic response to flowering. First category is short day plants. So from the name we can understand those plants, they will exhibit flowering when they are exposed to longer duration of light than the critical photoperiod. So they are also known as short night plants as they require darkness below critical level, and if this light period in this plant is interrupted, then flowering is inhibited. The physiological active form of phytochrome is PFR, that is the phytochrome which absorbs far red light, and examples are sugar beet, wheat, barley, Arabidopsis. Short day plants. In these plants, flowering is achieved when photoperiod or exposure to light is shorter than the critical period. Flowering is prevented by the interruption of dark period by a brief treatment of light. Physiological active form is PR, that is the phytochrome which absorbs red light, and these plants flower in late spring and summer. Chrysanthemum, rice, sugarcane, xanthium are few examples of short day plants. Short long day plants. These plants require short photoperiod for flowering. That means they require shorter duration of light for flowering, but they require longer photoperiods for blossoming. Examples are some variety of rye. Long short day plants, that means these plants require long photoperiods for flowering but short light for blossoming. Examples are Bryophyllum, Christrum. Day neutral plants are these plants which can flower in any photoperiod. Examples cucumber, pea, tomato, etc. What is the importance of photoperiodism? It helps in determining the season in which particular plant will flower, which in turn will help to lay down gardens, orchards and planning crop pattern. Photoperiodism knowledge helps commercial growers to flower a plant throughout the year under greenhouse condition and also helps in keeping the plant in its vegetative growth period for higher yield. This is very important slide. This is the significance of photoperiodism. The dark period can be made ineffective by interruption with short exposure to light, and this is called night break. That means this night or the darkness is interrupted by short exposure to light. In short day plant like xanthium, night break treatment for a few minutes with red light, that means phytochrome which absorbs red light, are effective in preventing flowering. But the effect is reversed by flash of far red light, that means phytochrome which absorbs far red light, because a small dose of light in the dark period is sufficient enough to saturate the conversion, that means the photoconversion from inactive form, that is the PR, that means those phytochrome which absorbs red light, they are inactive in the dark period and they become active when they absorb far red light. That means the phytochrome responsible for the absorption of far red light, that becomes active and that induces flowering in short day plant. That means when the plant is exposed towards light for a short period of time. So at that time, if we provide some light, it will help in the conversion of the phytochrome R to active phytochrome PFR. In case of long day plants, a flash of red light, it will induce flowering, but effect will be reversed by far red light. That means it will inhibit flowering when we will provide far red light. That means those phytochrome which will absorb far red light will inhibit flowering for long day plants. So this part is very, very important. What is photoperiodic induction? The photoperiodic stimulus in long day plants and short day plants, they are perceived by the leaves. Now, in response to photoperiod, the leaf transmits a signal that regulates the transition of flowering at the shoot apex. So, leaves are responsible for the transmission of this signal of photoperiodism to the shoot apex. And this photoperiod regulation process that occurs in the leaves results in the transmission of this floral stimulus to the shoot. And this whole process of transmission of the signal from the leaves to the shoot apex, collectively known as photoperiodic induction. Now, once it is produced, the flowering stimulus is transmitted to the meristem via phloem. Now, biological clock. Circadian rhythm, this is very important. Like, we all have biological clock, and we all work in accordance to our circadian rhythm. Organisms normally exhibit rhythmic behavior in association with daily cycles of light and darkness in both plants and animals. So it is effective for both plants and animals. Changes often alternate through high activity and low activity phases with a regular periodicity of 24 hours. So these rhythmic changes are referred to as circadian rhythm. Examples of such rhythm include leaf and petal movement, stomatal opening and closing, growth and sporulation pattern in fungi, like example neurospora, as well as some metabolic processes like photosynthesis and respiration. Nyctinacity is the sleep movement of leaves, and this is regulated by light and phytochrome. So light and phytochrome affect the movement of leaves. Blue light stimulates the closed leaflets to open, whereas red light followed by darkness will cause open leaflet to close. Thank you. If this video has helped you, please subscribe and share with your friends. Thank you.